What is the pass mark for every AFL club in 2024? Compared to the expectations that are being put on them, what does your club need to do to earn a pass mark next year? I'm going to be going through every AFL team and listing what I think the pass mark is for them and why. Before we get started, make sure you like, subscribe, comment what a pass mark is for your club, follow the TikTok FTFooty, and let's get started. Adelaide first. A pass mark for Adelaide is make the finals. Pretty simple. They should have done it this year or this season, last season. They need to do it next season. That's one of the easiest pass marks for any club you can do. Like, it just makes sense for them to make finals. I've seen talk about them needing to win one, but still, because they're a young list and inexperienced in the finals, let's stick to making them first. For Brisbane, I think a pass mark is make the grand final, maybe even a prelim, but we'll be harsh on them, make the grand final. It is not a fail if they don't win the grand final. If they make the grand final and lose it, it has to be a pass mark. I've seen online that there are talks about a pass mark is having to win the grand final. Now, I understand that notion, but I completely disagree with it. I think for those clubs who are fighting for the flag, ultimately, is it a fail for every club if they don't win the flag? Who fucking knows? But I think I'm being fair when I say just make the grand final. For Carlton, I think is win a prelim. I think that's a natural progression. They have the list, they have the coach, they have stability now. I think the natural pass mark for them is to win a prelim. They've made them now. Let's fucking win one. I'm a Richmond fan, not a Carlton fan. Collingwood next. And for the Pies, a pass mark is to win another flag. The only team that the pass mark is winning a flag for me for. There might be one more later actually. But I think for Collingwood, it makes sense for them. They won the flag this year. They're young, experienced as well. Perfect balance between them. But more importantly, their young players are going to get better. Therefore, I think it's really harshly a fail if they don't win the flag next year. But I think they have a better chance than anyone, which fucking sucks because I'm a Richmond fan. So it hurts me to say this, but Collingwood just might win a dynasty. On to Essendon next. Essendon, look, a pass mark for me for these clubs isn't purely based on position of the ladder and finals appearances, blah, blah, blah. It's also how can you develop. And for me, this in regard to Essendon as a pass mark is not so much challenging for a final. So that for me is a pass mark, not making the finals challenging, but more so solidifying a game style, having a clear play style that suits Essendon that Brad Scott has built into that team. I think that's the goal and that's a pass mark. If Essendon fans can conclusively say what the game style is and what Essendon are trying to do throughout the year, I think that's a positive. Fremantle, pass mark, sack the coach. Am I allowed to say that? Nah. Honestly, a pass mark for Fremantle is just being more consistent. Whether that's make finals or get close to finals, just be consistent. Don't lose these big home games. Actually show some fight and do something. Geelong, a pass mark, don't enter the bottom 5. I've said before, there's a massive risk that Geelong could break into that bottom 5 because of just the old experienced players just getting older and older. And I think they lack good young talent. There is a risk there, okay? So I don't think it's a pass mark for them to make finals again. I don't expect that. And for that reason, I'm also saying a pass mark is not to end up in the depths of hell. GWS, I think GWS's pass mark is to win a prelim. Maybe make a prelim more so. I think it's more important that Carlton win a prelim than GWS does, but purely based on the fact that they made a prelim this year, they should be looking to make a prelim next year and hopefully win it. So a pass mark, I'm a bit in between. Make a prelim, that's kind of a pass. Win a prelim, that's also kind of a pass. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Gold Coast, a pass mark is just play some good young talent, play some good footy, learn, get a game style going. Absolutely no pressure where you finish. They're going to finish bottom 3 in my opinion. But in terms of league position, don't finish dead last. I think that's just a pass mark. For the Hawthorn Football Club, a pass mark I think for them is try and break into the finals. I think that's a pass. I think they're on that trajectory. Maybe more so pass mark is don't finish in the bottom 4. I think they can avoid that next year, to be honest. And I think that's pretty fair given their trajectory, like I said before. Melbourne's pass mark, win the flag. They have the list, they have the best list in my eyes in the competition. Therefore, it is win the flag. Anything less than a flag is a fail. Despite all the controversy off field with Oliver and fucking Goodwin and drugs and that, they still need to win the flag. North Melbourne, a pass mark is not finish bottom 2. They should be aiming to break out of that. Even if that's third last, I still think that's a pass for them. I think they have a good list, good coach, obviously. Alistair Clarkson, the greatest coach. So let's build on the game style, get some consistent footy going, get some stability there, and you're good. For the Port Adelaide Football Club, I think a pass mark is make the prelims. I think that's pretty simple. Look, there are people out there who will be saying, and I think it's justified that a pass mark for Port Adelaide is to make the grand final. If you look at 2020 till now, that's 3 out of 4 years that they've made the top 4. 2 out of those 4 years, they've made the prelims. 0 out of the 4 years, they made the grand finals. So So I think I would understand why people out there would be saying the pass mark for them, the expectation is to make the grand final, but let's stick with prelims for this year because I think there are far better teams. Richmond, a pass mark for my boys, the Tigers. For me, the pass mark for us is to not finish bottom 4. If we can somehow avoid the bottom 4, I will be absolutely staggered, and I think that is more than just a pass. Sounds pretty harsh, but I think my club is in turmoil. I think we're in big trouble, and like I said, if we don't finish top 4, I'll be wondering what the fuck happened. For the St Kilda Football Club, I think a pass mark is make the finals again, but I'm not bullish on St Kilda, so if they don't make finals, I don't necessarily think that's a fail, but generally speaking on the public, I think a pass mark is making the finals. For the Sydney Football Club, a pass mark, for me, I'm being blunt as shit here, I think it's make prelims. I think that is brutal, but given the trade window they've had, I think that indicates that they'll be thinking they're in the running for the grand final. I actually think, if anything, it's not harsh enough to say a pass mark is to make prelims. If you said to me a pass mark for St Kilda, given the trade window and what they've done the last couple of years, is to make the grand final, if not win it, I would understand that. But for me, I'm not going to be so harsh on them. 2 more clubs now. For the West Coast Eagles, a pass mark is don't finish dead last. Avoid the wooden spoon, less taint on your club. Pretty simple, right? But I do think they are guaranteed to finish dead last. Unfortunately, West Coast fans, but let me know if you agree with that in the comments. Lastly, the Western Bulldogs, for me, one of the hardest teams to give a pass mark. For all of these sort of pass marks, expectations, will they make finals? Will they do this? St Kilda, Essendon, and the Dogs are those 3 teams to me that always stump me for this kind of shit. If I had to summarize what is a pass mark next year in 2024 for the Western Bulldogs, it will be to win a final. That sounds wrong to me, but I think at the very least they have to win a final. I was close to saying make prelims because I think they have a top 4 list. I think they've made some trades which indicate they still think they're likely, but we'll stick with win a final, you know, finish 5th, 6th, even 7th, 8th, and just win that first final, and I'll sit there comfortably saying it's probably a pass for a season. But let me know in the comments, particularly for Essendon, St Kilda, and the Dogs, what is a pass mark for those teams, because sometimes I just don't know for them. And that is it. That's all the teams. Let me know if you agree. Like I said, put your club's expectations with a pass mark for them next year, and I'll see if it is close to mine. Where have I gone wrong on this pass mark list? Make sure you like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow the TikTok FTFooty, and I will see you in another fucking video. Calm that, Tiggs.